Hey everyone, it's Gina, and I'm going to tell you guys how to make your own meatballs. If you ever wondered, you thought they were too hard, it's not. They're really simple to make. They're really fun to make too, and especially now for us college kids, we're probably moving off campus now, own little apartments where we have to cook for ourselves, and some people may not know how to cook. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a really simple, easy to do dinner for meatballs. They're really easy. All you need is a few simple ingredients, a pan to obviously put your meatballs in, a pot when you cook them in the sauce, and some seasoning, obviously the meat, and eggs and breadcrumbs. The way I do them is I learned from my dad, which is a really simple, easy way to make. We make them like this every time we make meatballs. But however, I'm going to tell you guys that the meatballs we eat today, either in your kitchen, in your house like I'm doing today, or if you go out for dinner like an Italian restaurant, Olive Garden, I don't know, but the meatballs we eat today weren't like how they were made in Italy when they were first made. They were actually called little polpettes, and they were so much smaller, about the size of a marble or a small golf ball. They were eaten by themselves as like a meal or in soups. So then they got transferred over to how they are now by when Italian immigrants came over to America, and they had so much more money, they had so much more access to meat, so they decided to make their meatballs bigger because they had more access to ingredients and more money and stuff like that. So they just kind of worked with what they had, and that's how we have the meatballs that we have today. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys what you've all been waiting for, how to make your own meatballs. It doesn't take that long, you just kind of make them and then you put them in the sauce and set them aside. So this is the layout I have going on right now in my kitchen. Here I have my eggs in a large bowl, which will eventually go, the meat will go in here and all the ingredients and stuff like that. Here are the seasonings, a baking sheet so I can put the 4 meatballs on, and then the pan that the meatballs will be cooked in, and then a pot for the sauce and the meatballs too. First thing we're going to do is crack our eggs into this bowl. Obviously, I already washed my hands. Make sure you wash your hands before doing this. Okay, now our eggs are cracked in the bowl, and now we're going to mix them together until they're all blended nice. Now once this is all mixed together, we're going to add our pepper, our salt, and mix that together for a little bit. Now for something a little different, we're going to add 3 spoonfuls of tomato sauce into our mixture. And mix that all together. After the tomato sauce is all blended in our egg mixture, we're going to add the breadcrumbs and mix that together thoroughly. So now once the breadcrumbs are all mixed together, we're going to add our meat in. So this is what your mixture should look like now after you thoroughly mix the meat up. You want to make sure to incorporate everything. Okay, now we're going to form our meatballs. So I just like to take about this much and kind of throw it in your hand a little bit and roll it around in your palms. Try and make it as circular as possible, and then just place on your baking sheet. We're going to do another one. It gets easier as you go on, you know what size to make them. So now we have our meatballs all formed. I just added some garlic powder and some parsley flakes to them for a little extra flavor and just for looks. And now I added some butter to a pan, and I'm waiting for that to heat up so we can cook our meatballs. Okay, at medium heat, our pan is ready, and now we're going to be adding our meatballs. I'd say about 5 or 6 to a pan at a time. Okay, now we're just going to be cooking them for a little bit just to brown them. We're not going to be wanting to cook them thoroughly all the way through, because then we're going to be transferring them to the sauce that we have over here. So this is what it looks like when you're cooking. I'm just trying to brown the edges of it a little bit, make sure to keep the meatballs still in their circular shape. I just added some more down here. Okay, now we have a few meatballs in the sauce. They're going to be cooking, and over here I'm cooking some more meatballs. I'm going to add them eventually to the sauce. Now we have our meatballs in the pot. They're going to simmer here on low heat for about 30 to 45 minutes, And then after that, we're gonna take it off heat for another 20 minutes, and then there you have your meatballs.